The month of December is going to have us counting by threes or multiplying by threes. So that's our student goal for the month. This is not in our state standards, but I think most students are ready for it since they've counted by 2 and 5 and 10 since tiny. So we're going to just go for it. So a great one to warm up with is your mix it up multiples of 3. So you can grab your multiples of 3 out. That's the game where you put all the multiples out except for 1 and they have to figure out what's missing. But I would hold off on doing that until you've practiced counting by threes first. So again, stress counting is a really good way to count. So if they're counting along and they get stuck, so let's say they say 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. You say 10, 11. Whisper, 12 is the louder one, so it starts to stick. If it's helpful, you could have them put these out in order, so up the top of your table, so that way they can use these visuals if they get stuck. But what we really want is for them to be internalizing counting by threes instead of one at a time, and when they get stuck to stress count. So you can give them an expression, you can just give them a small pile and have them practice counting. But this whole entire month, they're going to be so sick of it. All they're going to be doing is counting by threes over and over and over. So that's your warm up real quick. Get them counting by threes with visuals and with the numerals. And then you can move again into the frogs and lily pads. So you can choose to do 3 lily pads for each student, or you could do one student is doing it and the rest are solving, but you can do 3 times 2. You could also do a number of lily pads out with 3 on each one. The reason I like to switch it now at this point is they've learned that multiplication can be commutative. So this is like counting by 2s, but I would prefer if each one had 3, so they're practicing counting by 3s. So it doesn't matter as long as they're practicing counting by 3s and making this visual. The last thing I have for counting by threes is, again, area cards. I think this is really, really useful. Start with where all the grids are showing, write the expression, write the answer, how many rows, how many in each row. Those are all great questions to ask, especially when they're covered. And always use these before moving on to these. Make them match it. There's so many possibilities, but the idea is to give them exposure to area models where there are already grid lines to where they're somewhat covered up to where they're empty. So this is definitely the easiest. This is where it gets trickier. So you can practice with visual area cards as well. And there are dice in your kit too. So if you are getting bored with this, which I know it gets boring for the teacher, you can have them roll dice and build lily pads. You can have them, if they roll a 4, it's 4 lily pads with 3 on each one. For soccer balls, it's 4 packs with 3 in each pack. How many soccer balls? Just to kind of keep things moving along and interesting. So that's it for this whole month. And then you can just check, do they have their times 3 facts? And do they have a way to skip count fluently?